you're sick of being out-teamed every match, listen up. Go to IGGM.com for cheap and reliable FIFA coins, trusted by players for over 10 years, with 150,000 plus reviews on Trustpilot. Use code RETRO for 8% off and upgrade your squad today. Link in the description. What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video. Last time, I taught you guys the fundamentals of how to take the most effective first touch today. We're talking about dribbling. Guys, listen, dribbling this year is unreal. But the problem is most of you are sprinting everywhere, forcing the ball, and giving up on the dribble way too early. The most effective way to beat a defender when dribbling, and you're not going to believe this, is actually by facing backwards and taking your first touch backwards. I know it sounds crazy, but when you take a touch backwards, you instantly create space. From there, you can go into your dribbling and explode in the direction you want. You don't need all these fancy skill moves. You don't need to hold R2 and run like a rookie. You just need fundamentals and patience. So today, we're going to learn the fundamentals of dribbling. And before we get into the mechanics, let's answer the most important question. What is dribbling in football? Dribbling in football is the ability to move with the ball while maintaining close control, protecting it from defenders, and using direction, timing, and acceleration to create space or beat an opponent. And that's exactly what we're working on today. Real dribbling, not spamming R2, not elasticos every 2 seconds, just understanding how to control space like the pros. So let's break down why turning backwards is the key to separation, how to use slow dribbling to bait defenders, and when to explode to attack space. If you want breakdowns like this and want to improve your fundamentals, you already know. Link in the description to book coaching and join the Discord community. Let's get into the tutorial. Now, whenever we are dribbling, we need to have an end goal. For me, when I'm dribbling and I'm facing backwards, even though my opponent thinks I'm scared or don't know what I'm doing, that's exactly what I want them to think. They think I'm just holding the ball for no reason, but I'm actually inviting them to come closer. Just like a spider, I'm waiting for them to step in so I can move into a better position. That's the whole point. The biggest problem most of you have is that you rely too much on broken mechanics and exploits in the game. Yes, those things can get you some wins, but if you don't understand the fundamentals, you will get exposed by any half-decent player. For example, let's say you're someone who only knows how to trigger runs and play a through ball. A half-decent defender will just track that run, and then what? You have no second plan. The play dies, and the game becomes very easy for your opponent. Instead, when you're dribbling, make it your habit to use the dribble to open your opponent up. Don't rush, don't panic. Dribble with purpose, bait them in, create space, and then attack. That's the difference between someone who relies on cheese mechanics and someone who actually understands football. Sure, guys, the whole fidget spinning dribbling method might work against below Division 6 players, but once you start climbing the ranks, those things stop working. Players at higher levels are patient, they defend angles, and they don't fall for random spinning and sprinting. So instead, we need to understand something much more important. Every dribble you take should be setting up your next pass, not just running for the sake of running, not just holding the ball randomly. Your dribble is supposed to shape the play, move defenders, and create openings. Look at this clip. Watch how we take our time. Watch how we run away from the opponent, not because we're scared, but because we're trying to pull him out of position and open a passing lane. Let me give you a little secret that most people don't realize. The longer you keep the ball, the more uncomfortable your opponent becomes. Most players mentally collapse when they don't win the ball quickly. They start panicking. They start pressing with the wrong player. They start dragging a center back out or stepping with a midfielder they shouldn't move. And this is where most of you struggle. You are always sprinting, always rushing, always in go mode. You're so focused on moving fast that you never see the openings right in front of you. If you just slowed down, took a breath, and stayed composed, you would see everything. Look at how composed we are in this example. Look how we catch him sleeping, simply because we kept possession and didn't panic. Look how I randomly go all the way back, not to reset for no reason, but to force him to step and break his defensive shape. Even though this opponent isn't the strongest player, he is still using a 4-5-1, which is one of the most compact formations in the game. But still, just by taking our time, we open him up completely. Because here's the reality, and remember this forever. It is extremely uncomfortable for most players to stay disciplined. They cannot sit still for long. They cannot stay patient. Eventually, they will press. Eventually, they will overcommit. Eventually, they will give you the gap, and that's when you punish them. That is real football. That is real dribbling. Not tricks, not exploits. control, patience, and purpose. Watch any pro player play a game and pay attention to how they keep the ball. Dribbling is not spinning your left stick like crazy, doing 5 elastico attempts, or trying to run through defenders like a bulldozer. Real dribbling is simply keeping possession with purpose. It's about controlling the ball, controlling the tempo, and controlling the defender. The best way to dribble effectively is to look one way and then go the other, using your body and movement to create angles. When you face one direction, you're manipulating the opponent. You're telling them a story. You're selling them an idea. And then, when they react, you punish them by going the opposite way and opening a passing lane. This game is all about angles, understanding where the pressure is coming from, where the space is, and where the next pass will be. Every touch you take should move a defender, even if it's only a few steps. If you can move one defender out of position, the entire structure collapses, and that is what creates opportunities. When you watch pro players, notice how calm they are. They aren't rushing. They aren't panicking. They aren't sprinting just to sprint. They are waiting. They wait until the defender steps too aggressively. The opponent turns their body the wrong way. A passing lane opens. A teammate makes the right movement. Then they accelerate at the perfect time. Not every time. That's what makes them dangerous. Most of you are trying to play at 100% speed the entire game. You hold R2 like your controller is glued to it. You're in constant go-go-go mode, and that's why you can't see anything. And when you're moving that fast, you can't read the field, and you can't manipulate defenders. But when you slow down, the game becomes simple. You see runners earlier. You recognize space faster. You control where the opponent moves. You decide when the game speeds up or slows down. That is real dribbling. That is real football. And that's how you dominate even the best players. For this part, I need you to really listen right now. Put your phone down. Stop multitasking. Stop thinking about meta tactics for a second. What I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with secrets, glitches, exploits, or broken mechanics. What I'm about to tell you is the core foundation of football, in real life and in EAFC. And if you understand this, if this sinks into your bones, you will never look at the game the same way again. Because the truth is this: most of you are losing games not because you're bad, but because you're rushing. Not because you don't know skill moves. Not because you don't have coins for the best players. Not because of patches or exploits or server delay or RNG. You lose because you panic. You lose because you rush every touch. You lose because you want the game to finish before it even starts. You lose because you are trying to play at 100 miles per hour every single second. And nobody, not even the top pros, play like that. Watch any pro match. Watch any serious player play. Notice how they keep the ball. Notice how patient they are. Notice how quiet and calm their play looks. They don't panic. They don't spam sprint. They don't force the first pass they see. They don't chase the meta like they're addicted to it. They wait. They wait for the right moment. They wait for the defender to take one wrong step. They wait for space to appear. They wait for the perfect angle. Because football, real football, is a game of angles, timing, and patience, not chaos. Stop chasing meta. Let's talk about this. Because it's destroying so many of you. Every patch, everyone goes insane. Bro, what's the new meta? What's the most broken formation? What's the glitchiest tactic? What's the new R1, L1, R2, L2 spam trick that wins games? You're addicted to shortcuts. You're addicted to cheap wins. You want to avoid learning the fundamentals because fundamentals take time and discipline. Meta will always change. Every patch something dies and something becomes broken. EA can flip the game upside down tomorrow and all your exploits are suddenly useless. But fundamentals never die. Dribbling will always matter. Patience will always matter. Angles will always matter. Reading pressure will always matter. Control will always matter. If you rely on exploits alone, you are building your gameplay on sand. One wave and you collapse. That's why so many of you message me saying, bro, I was doing good, but now I can't win anymore. The patch ruined me. I don't know how to score. I'm stuck in Division 8/7/6. No, the patch didn't ruin you. The patch simply exposed that you didn't have fundamentals to begin with. If your entire game depends on broken features, when they get nerfed, you have nothing. That's why you need to learn football, not just mechanics. The power of patience. Let's talk about patience because without it, everything collapses. When you rush, your vision narrows. You stop seeing passing options. You stop seeing movement. You stop analyzing your opponent. You stop thinking. You lose the ability to control the tempo. You react instead of dictate. You become predictable, robotic, and easy to defend. Think about it. When you sprint the whole time, the defender doesn't have to guess. He already knows you're going straight. He already knows you're forcing the through ball. He already knows you're rushing into pressure. You become easy food. But when you slow down, everything changes. When you slow down, suddenly defenders don't know what to expect. They start getting impatient. They start pressing with the wrong player. They start losing shape. They start chasing you instead of controlling you. And once that happens, you already won. The greatest weapon in football is not pace. It's not skill moves. It's not through balls. It's patience. Patience makes opponents uncomfortable. Patience makes them think they're losing, even if they're not. Patience makes them do stupid things. Patience is pressure. You're not waiting because you're scared. You're waiting to control dribbling is not spinning 100 times. A lot of players think dribbling means elasticos every 5 seconds or spinning around like a Beyblade. That's not dribbling. That's panic with glitter on it. Dribbling is simply keeping possession with control. Dribbling is shielding. Dribbling is turning away from pressure. Dribbling is taking a touch backwards to create space. Dribbling is pulling defenders out of shape. Dribbling is timing. The best dribble you can take is often the one that goes backwards. When you take a touch backwards, you instantly create space. You manipulate the defender's body. You open a passing lane. You change the angle. Everyone wants to dribble forward because they think forward is always progress. No, sometimes the smartest play is backwards, sideways, or slow. Final message. Boys and girls, stop rushing. Stop panicking. Stop trying to win every game in the first 10 seconds. Stop thinking football is about sprinting. Take your time. Breathe. Be calm. Enjoy the ball. Control the game. Be patient. Force your opponent to suffer. And when they make one mistake, punish them without mercy. That's real football. That's real dribbling. That's how pros play. That's how winners play. And from today, that's how you will play. Time to become a different player. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope this really opened your eyes to how important patience and fundamentals are. You don't need to chase every meta or every patch change. If you build real understanding of the game, you will always be ahead, no matter what EA changes. If you want to take your gameplay to the next level and actually learn the fundamentals properly, dribbling, defending, build-up play, first touch, creating angles, then book a one-on-one coaching session with me. I've coached hundreds of players at all levels, and I don't just give you tactics or meta tricks. I teach you how to actually play football, how to stay calm, how to read the game, and how to build habits that will help you long-term. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Choose the package that fits you, and let's start improving for real. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, boys and girls. And remember, slow down, control the game, and trust your fundamentals.